Hello and welcome back to our channel. So in today's video we are going to talk about our wedding costs and our destination wedding to Boracay in the Philippines. Stick around to find out all of the breakdown of costs and the final cost of our wedding at the end of the video. Hope you enjoy it.
I suppose I'll better get a little bit closer.
Yeah, because you do love me.
So you might be thinking, why did we decide to get married in Boracay in the Philippines? And there's a number of reasons. So number one is I'm half British and I'm half Filipino. So all of my mum's side of the family are back in the Philippines. So that's one of the main reasons why we decided to get married over there. Number two is we visited Boracay for the first time back in 2019, and I specifically remember Matt saying whilst we were sitting on White Beach that if we were to ever get engaged and get married, that we would want to get married in Boracay. And last but not least, the weather and the views, which in our opinion were absolutely priceless. So what we'll do is we'll pop up a photo just on the side here showing sunset hour during our wedding reception. If you haven't already seen our previous video, go back and watch it just before you start watching this one, just because our previous video is our wedding highlights video, so it'll give you an idea of what we're going to talk about today.
So to give you a bit of a time scale of when we got engaged to the wedding. So we got engaged in May 2022 in Prague. From then, we set the date of February 2024 for our wedding. After we got engaged, we started looking at wedding venues. So we got quotes from 4 different places. We got the Crimson, the District, Discovery Shores, and the Lind. Then in August 2022, we decided to book with the Lind. We then had the opportunity in May 2023 to visit the family in the Philippines, but then also go over to stay at the Lind for 3 or 4 days, and we got to meet the wedding planning team, which was so good to then get the ball rolling with the wedding.
Just to give you an idea of how many guests we had for our wedding, we had 53 guests, which included 18 of our friends and family which flew over from the UK to the Philippines, and also included in that we had 5 kids. After booking with the Lind for our wedding venue, they give you 3 different locations in the hotel to have your wedding for the day. So those 3 locations are the Ballroom, which is the indoor section of their hotel, the beachfront, and the infinity deck, which is sort of at the edge of the hotel that overlooks the beach and the sea. So we decided to book the infinity deck to have our entire wedding on, so the ceremony, cocktail hour and reception. So the wedding ceremony package included a wedding canopy with floral decoration, floral arrangement for the aisle, my bouquet and Matt's boutonniere, and also included was a basic sound system. So for that wedding ceremony package, that came to a total cost of 122,000 peso, which is equivalent to around £1,657.
So for those that know me, they'll know that I love food. So we're about to talk about the wedding food. So excited. So we got a choice of a set menu or a buffet. For us, we went with the buffet because we felt like this was a lot more informal.
And I think also we wanted people to be able to go up for seconds and thirds like I did. We like to. Whereas I think obviously with a set menu, you get the food that you're given and that's it.
Also, just to add, if you do get married at the Lind, you can request a plate given to you for the room for when you get back after your party. However, we just requested 1 plate. We had about 6 or 7 of each single item, and it was just amazing. We couldn't eat it all, could we? It was so good. So the food was part of the outdoor package that the Lind offer to you. Also included within that was roughly around 20 additional items. The top ones for us were a 2-night stay, including breakfast and round-trip transfers. Also included was the cake. And this was so simple to do. We gave them an image reference of the design we wanted, which they replicated, and they gave us 3 different flavors to choose from. There was also some surprise entertainment, which was fire dancers, and we had them for around 15 minutes in total, wasn't it? And they were so good. None of the guests knew they were coming, and they were all blown away. The total cost of the wedding package was 532,000 pesos, which was roughly around £7,220. Most of that budget though went onto the food, but for us that was so good, so we didn't mind.
Our wedding came to a finish at 10 p.m, which we felt was a little bit too early, but they don't allow loud music outdoors after 10 p.m. So we decided to hire a portion of the indoor ballroom for an extra 2 hours to take it up to midnight. So the cost for a 2-hour rental of a portion of the ballroom cost us 36,600 peso, which was equivalent to around £500. But the best thing about this is that it was actually consumable on drinks. So we basically had a £500 bar tab to spend, which our guests had absolutely no problem in doing so. And we also decided to keep on the DJ for an extra 2 hours. He actually came as one of the inclusions in the outdoor wedding package, but again, we only had him until 10 p.m. So we decided to keep him on for an extra 2 hours, and that cost us an extra 6,000 peso, which was around £87.
As we've just spoken about the drinks for the after party, let's talk about the drinks for the actual party. So we had 2 theme bars. We had a gin-based bar and a Filipino-themed bar. We also had a set drinks list, which included some local beers, some sodas, 2 gin-based cocktails, and 2 Filipino-themed cocktails. The total of this was 31,000 pesos, which was roughly £440.
Now moving on to talk about the team that made this entire day perfect for us. So we decided to hire Amanda Tirol and her team, who are actually based in Boracay, and we went for a full wedding service package. We signed our contract the end of May 2022, and they helped and supported us right through up until the day after the wedding. We would absolutely recommend anyone who's having a destination wedding to hire a wedding planning team. The team on the day were absolutely fantastic, and we genuinely could not have had the day that we had without them. So the cost for Amanda and her team came to 115,000 peso, which is around about £1,610, and they were worth absolutely every penny.
Now let's move on to the photography and videography of our wedding. So Amanda and the team gave us a list of suppliers that are based on the island for us to choose from. We went with Something Beautiful Studios. They were so good. We had 2 photographers, 2 videographers, and 2 assistants for the whole day. The total of this was 65,000 pesos, which was roughly around £910.
Moving on to hair and makeup. So again, the perk of having Amanda and the team, they provided me with a list of local suppliers on the island, and I had a look through a handful of them through their social media to see which ones I preferred. And I decided to go with Fern Kimpo, and he brought his assistant Carla with him. So Fern did my makeup and Carla did my hair. Inclusions with Fern was my hair and makeup, and if I wanted it changing for the reception, I could have done. I think the only thing I changed was I had sort of a hair piece put in, and unlimited retouches as well throughout the whole day. And I also had an additional 3 people have their hair and makeup done. So I decided to go with my mum, Matt's mum, and one of my bridesmaids to have their hair and makeup done for the day. Also included was a hair and makeup trial. So when we actually visited the Lind for the first time back in May 2023, I thought that was a great opportunity to actually meet Fern and have my trial done then. So the total cost for Fern came to 25,000 peso, which was equivalent to around £350.
We hired an officiant and host for the wedding In the UK, we call them Master of Ceremony. This person was Jard Maxipok, aka the bearded host on Instagram. We actually had a non-religious ceremony in the Philippines because we were already legally married in the November 2023 at our local registry office. So this meant we could have Jard Maxipok as our officiant and host at the wedding. We had so many compliments about Jard from all of the guests, so we would highly recommend if you are planning on getting married in Boracay. The total cost for Jard to be the officiant and the host for the day was 35,000 pesos, which was roughly £493.
Now I'm going to say something quite controversial here for a bride, I think. But flowers were not at the top of my list for being important at the wedding. And the reason for this is because we were having a destination wedding, I knew there was no way that I could bring any of my flowers home with me. So I kind of thought there was no point in spending so much money on flowers that I couldn't really do anything with afterwards.
And I have hay fever. So we can't have that on the day.
As part of our outdoor wedding package, we actually had all of the centerpieces and a main centerpiece on our top table included. So the only additional flowers we actually had for the wedding were 3 bridesmaid bouquets and 7 groomsmen boutonnieres. And that cost came to 9,200 peso, which was equivalent to around £130. And another thing that our flower supplier actually did for us as well is our reception setup. Now, I cannot remember where I saw this. I think it was maybe when the Lind sent over sort of inspo pictures from previous weddings. I absolutely fell in love with this setup. It was an absolute must for me. We'll show you it here. So the cost for this was 80,000 peso, which was equivalent to around £1,130.
So we decided not to have any wedding favours, but instead we had a photo booth. So the guests will get 2 strips of photos. One would go into a guest book and the other they could have as a keepsake from the wedding. The photo booth attendant was there for 5 hours and had unlimited prints. And like I said, we had a guest book as well. The total of this was 10,000 pesos, which was roughly £145. We decided to have a content creator team at the wedding, which was Jana and Kate. They made 2 reels for us. The links are down in the description. And they also live streamed our wedding via a private Facebook group for those people that couldn't actually make it to the wedding. The total cost for Jana and Kate was 16,000 pesos, which was roughly £229.
Last but not least, let's talk about my wedding dress and Matt's suit. So my wedding dress was from a supplier called Elise and my dress is called Cleopatra. I got my dress from a bridal shop in Ely in Cambridgeshire called Blush Ely, so I'll tag them in this video. And my dress cost me £2,565 and my veil was kindly gifted to me by my bridesmaids.
I got my suit from Zara and this is what it looks like. So I got the jacket and the trousers from Zara. We were just in there one day and we randomly found the blazer, didn't we? And I was like, oh, this is really nice. I really like the texture, really like the colour. And so we managed to find the trousers online as well. For my groomsmen, I actually got the same trouser but in a lighter colour. So we kind of had all the same fit going through it. For the shirt, I went with Charles Tyrwhitt. They are really good because I have a really thin neck, but I'm quite broad. So I had to find a shirt that fitted me on my shoulders, but also around my neck. And same with the groomsmen, we all have different fits, so they do really good options. My jacket was £80, my trousers were £36, and the shirt was £29. So for my 3-piece suit, the cost was roughly £145.
Now, the moment you've all been waiting for if you've been sticking around for this long. The total cost for our wedding. is £17,610. So that's for everything that we've sort of discussed in this video. But I'd probably say overall, we paid around 20 grand. There are other things we paid for, like the groomsmen trousers, stationery. We just wanted to show you one of the stationery items from our wedding. We decided to go with a 2-in-1. So we had our order of service on one side, and then we had a special message for our guests on the other. And it also doubled up as a fan, which I thought was great. Matt is a graphic designer by trade, so he designed all of our stationery for us.
So we also went really cheesy and did Save the Dates as a boarding pass with the date and everything on there, and then just like a little bit of information on there as well.
Let us know in the comments if you think this is a bargain for a destination wedding, or if you think we overpaid. I don't know what UK wedding costs are like.
Yeah.
So we hope that the breakdown of costs really helped you. Please do bear in mind that we paid for these costs back in 2023. So they might be a little bit inflated now, but hopefully that gives you a good idea if you are thinking of having a destination wedding.
And we hope by the photos we've shown you of the kind of standard of wedding you can have in a place like the Philippines. So hopefully that is really insightful. We hope you enjoyed our wedding cost video and you found it useful if you are planning on getting married in Boracay in the Philippines. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe and all those things on here, and we'll see you in the next one. It's like Deal or No Deal.
I've just started recording.
Oh, God, bloody hell. What day?